we're going to be doing a full body dumbbell workout focusing on building muscle. So our goal is to be stronger together. This is going to be a follow along workout. So I'll show you what I'm doing and then we can do it together. So grab your dumbbells and let's go ahead and get started. So for the first exercise, we're going to do an incline bench press. This works the muscles in your upper pecs and your triceps and some of the front of your shoulder. Now, if you don't have an incline bench, you can do a flat bench as well. The advantage of the incline bench is it hits more of those upper fibers of the pec rather than more, it hits more of those upper fibers, so you get more upper chest development, but a flat bench will still hit that chest muscle. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna put dumbbells right on your knees, lean back, kick your knees up, and bring your hands to the outside of your shoulder. Now it's okay if your elbows are a little bit close to your rib cage. You don't have to have them out, flared out like this. Just go to where you feel comfortable in this position, but you should feel that tension on your chest. From here, pushing out towards the front. Oh, I should say, the bench I have set to a 45-degree angle. So I'm just slightly leaned up. From here, I'm gonna push up towards the ceiling, keeping my hands wide over the top of my shoulders, so I'm not letting the dumbbells come together. I'm pushing my chest out, really opening up that chest. And then all the way down to the outside of my shoulders and back up. Now I'm starting with a lighter dumbbell and warming up the muscle. So going down to the outside of my shoulder and then back up, really letting that chest open up. I always do a warm-up set first to help reduce the risk of injury. So getting some blood flow into the muscle before I go to my full heavier weight. So we're gonna pair that with a supported row. So I'm gonna lean against this post. So I'm gonna lean against the post, let my arm hang down towards the ground. And then from here, I'm gonna drive my elbow up towards the ceiling. So I'm pulling up to the back, working the muscles in my upper back and shoulder blade. And same thing other side. Now with this, I'm pointing my thumb straight up to the front. I'm not twisting in, because that would, if I twist in, it actually works much more of that shoulder, the trap muscles up here, and less of those lats down here. So that was the warm-up set. Now I'm shifting to a heavier dumbbell. And we're going to go for a first working set. This is where we start counting the number of sets. So for this, I start with the dumbbells on my knees, move it up to a 40-pound dumbbell. Now I'm trying for 13 reps. Now, if you can't get 13 reps, that's okay. What you want to do is go until you feel tired in the muscle. So we're working the chest. You want to feel that chest stretching as you're going out to the sides. I used to not do deep push-ups or deep bench press, and that actually has made me, that kept me weaker for longer in my chest muscle. Now that I've started to do this, working my way up, I've actually been able to build more of a chest. So that, don't be afraid of that deep portion of the stretch where you're going all the way down to your chest. You don't want to stop here because that will keep you weak. It'll keep that muscle from really growing. So going all the way down and all the way back up. Even if you have to reduce the weight or do less reps, it's better for the muscle to do all full range of motion, especially in that lower portion where you get that massive stretch. And relax. Now, you can do this with bands as well. I find that it's a little harder to set up the bands, so I'm switching to dumbbells just because part of the thing with exercise is how easy is it to set the exercise up. And the easier it is, the better it is because you get through the workout. It's just less of a headache trying to set everything up. So now we're going to do a supported row. So I'm going to put my hand on here just to take some pressure off my low back. Let the dumbbell fully hang. Now you don't want to start here. You want to let that dumbbell completely hang so it's pulling your shoulder blade forward. From here, I'm going to drive my elbow up to the back. So I'm not thinking about bending my arm, I'm thinking about pulling my elbow towards the ceiling. And then all the way back. Switch sides, doing the same thing on both sides. So I'm keeping my back straight, pulling up to the back. All right. I'm really trying to lean forward, keeping my back straight. Now I've been working on stretching out my hamstring on this left side. I have a previous injury from martial arts where I pulled this. So this muscle tightens up a lot more. So because of that, when I try and bend over to the front, I can have tension here. If I don't stretch it and don't work it, that muscle shortens and makes it hard for me to do this exercise. Even though it's not the muscle working, it can limit you. So it's kind of funny how the body is all interconnected. What's happening down at your hamstring and calf can affect all the way up to your upper back. All right. Now going for our second set of incline bench press. Now, if you're liking this content and want to see more, hit that like button for me to let me know you want more content like this, where we're doing dumbbell workouts for full body exercises. So today we're gonna start with upper body and then move to some lower body exercises. So we're starting with chest and back, then moving to some arms, and then we'll finish up with legs and hips. So going for our second set of incline bench, nice wide stance, keep your hands at elbow width, pushing out towards the front, and then all the way back down. I'm trying to really push my chest out, so I'm arching my back to fully stretch that chest muscle. And relax. And I'm going until I feel that tension in that muscle, that fatigue start to set in. Because that fatigue is actually what's gonna help trigger that muscle to grow. So if you're not tired by the end of it, means you need to increase your reps or increase your weight. One of the two. As long as you can control the movement. So usually, I like to start by increasing the reps, because no matter if you're increasing reps or weight, you'll still grow the muscle. So adding extra reps, I find is a little bit easier. That way I don't need to buy a whole new dumbbell. Though these adjustable dumbbells means I can add and subtract weight. It's very useful. But if you only have a fixed dumbbell, then just adding reps is a great way of building strength or building muscle and continuing to progress. So going into our row now, I'm trying to let that dumbbell hang straight down, and I'm trying to hinge all the way forward so I really get at that stretch in the lats. And 13. And same thing on the other side. Now the support really helps for your low back. So grabbing onto a post or against the wall, just to take some of that pressure off your low back so you can focus in on your lats and muscles in your upper back. I'm trying to focus on driving my elbow to the ceiling. And 13. And relax. Whew. So I live stream my workouts Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Do all my workouts on stream so we can grow together, build muscle and build strength together. So if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button to be here live when we work out together. So Monday, I was feeling dizzy, so I didn't work out on Monday because I didn't feel quite safe lifting weights while feeling kind of that vertigo we had terrible winds here. So a lot of dust, a lot of stuff in the air. And sometimes that happens where you have to adjust your workouts. The biggest thing, or big thing, when you're working out is it safe? Can you be safe while doing it? Hey, B2, good to see you. Hang on a second, I can't quite read your message. Give me a moment. B2, yeah, how am I doing? I'm doing well. I was just saying, Monday felt pretty dizzy from all the winds. So I didn't work out that day because I didn't feel like it would be safe. Now that's something that I think that I ignored when I was younger, and that got me injured a lot. I actually tore a bone in my knee because I pushed my body to work out when it wasn't healed and it wasn't ready to, it was causing me pain. So that's something I try and focus on now as I'm a little older and hopefully a little wiser, is that I try and be safe in my workouts, where it's no good if I get injured or something worse in trying to get stronger. So knowing that my body is healing, if my body's not, is fighting something or getting sick, I might limit my workout because that recovery needs to go to something else. One more. Nope. 13. B2 says, yeah, it's extremely cold and foggy here. I don't know if I will go to the gym today. Yeah, sometimes you want to try and get your workouts in, but you also want to be safe. So it's definitely a balance there. The thing you don't want to do, there's two sides of it. One, don't want to be so extreme that you just work out no matter what, and then end up paying for it later. And you also don't want to just bail on the gym at the slightest inconvenience, because then honestly, you might never work out. So those are both pitfalls, and it's so easy to get caught in either one. So you want to try and push your body a little bit and find that good balance of getting yourself to the gym 90% of the time, so that 10%, when you really can't, it doesn't really matter that much because you've already invested, you're already building towards that. We've got some momentum going. Let's set one of these down. So how cold is it there, B2? There we go. -2, oh my gosh. That is very cold. Yeah, I can't say I blame you for not wanting to go out into that weather. It never gets that cold here. It's always hardest on that third set. Trying for 13 reps. 3 more. 11, 12, 13. Oh. So, what I would say is, for every 10 workouts, if you miss 1, that's okay. But if you start missing 2, 3, 4 workouts in a block of 10, you gotta think, okay, what's causing me to miss these and how can I fix that? That's where I would focus in on that 90-10 rule. 9 times out of 10, you got it right. That one time, it's okay. But if it's more than that, that starts adding up really quickly and you really can just lose a lot of progress that you could be making missing that one workout. Now you can probably still progress, just it won't be as fast. So if you want to get there faster, getting the more sets in, the more workouts in, as long as you're staying safe, I would aim for 9 times out of 10, you're getting into that workout. There we go. Now I can read chat. All right, we just worked the chest and the back. Now we're gonna focus in on the arms and then we'll finish up with legs at the end. So, for the arms, we're going to do we're gonna get this bench out of the way. Bench feels a lot heavier after doing rows. All right, so we're going to do an overhead tricep extension. Working out 4 days, B2 says, I've been working out 4 days a week instead of 5, sometimes 3. Hey, 3 or 4 days a week is a lot, that's awesome. Busy most of the time, I hear you. I would say if you can shoot for 3 days a week consistently, that's a great place to be. You can make a lot of progress with just 3 days a week. And honestly, I think it's more important that it's practical for your schedule, where you can get in and do it consistently. So I'm not a person that works out 5 days a week. I do consistent walking every day and I stretch every day. But doing weightlifting, I do that 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So as long as I can consistently do that, you can make, I'm building muscle. I've seen my arms have gotten bigger, my chest has gotten bigger doing just 3 days a week. Just putting in work on those 3 days. So for an overhead tricep extension, putting this right behind my head, grabbing with both hands. My elbows are gonna be high. Switching exercises, because that didn't feel great on my shoulder. Just today, feels like I have a little bit of a cramp in my left shoulder. So I'm gonna switch up the exercise and we're going to do a skull crusher instead. So for the arms, I know especially as a student or someone working, it can be hard to find the time to work out. So I commend you for getting in those workout days. That's awesome. So for a skull crusher, a lot of people mistake this for a skull crusher, but this is more of a close grip bench press where my elbows are way down low. So I've seen people get that wrong. The key thing for a skull crusher is my elbows are high. So I want them up here above my shoulders. There we go. So having the elbows up here, I'm gonna bend my elbows, bringing the dumbbells behind my head. And I don't wanna drop those arms. I'm gonna keep them high up and then straighten out towards the front. Now, you can do it like this as well. I personally think it's a little nicer on my joints like this. So bring my hands down to my ears, keeping those elbows in and up. And relax. So we just worked the back of the arm. Now we're gonna work the biceps in the front of the arm. So for this, I'm gonna do a wall curl. My back's flat against a wall, elbows in to my sides, head and hips against the wall. From here, I'm gonna pull up to the front, bring my hands out forward and then back up. So I'm really stretching that bicep. So I'm not going down, I'm going outwards. You should feel that in your upper arm. Last two. This is the one that got me for a long time, because what I was doing is I was going down with this for the bicep curl instead of out like this, because that keeps that tension on the muscle the whole time, because gravity's pushing down instead of pulling your arm like this, where nothing's going into that muscle. All right. So there's still a lot of stuff in the air today. So it's getting actually kind of hard to breathe because I feel like I'm breathing through a cloud of dust. So we'll see how this goes. I might only be able to do 2 sets of this today because I want to make sure I get some for my legs as well. So if you're liking this content where we're working out with dumbbells together, hit that like button for me to let me know you want more content like this. So we're gonna go back to a set of skull crushers. So laying on the bench, you could do this also laying on your back on the ground. The important thing though is have your elbows high, bring your hands to your ears, and then back out straight. So I'm keeping those elbows above the shoulders. And I'm gonna stop there. Oh, man. That burns right here in the back of my elbow. Oh. So I'm taking an extra minute between. This is just taking a lot more out of me today because of allergies. Does anyone else get hay fever or just congested in the fall? And I know it just feels like I'm breathing through just junk. But we're still out here, we're still working on building muscle. So trying to get as good of a workout in as we can. Even if it's not perfect, the workout you do is better than the workout you miss. So as long as you're not going to injure yourself, as long as you're being safe, if your muscle feels like it's hurting already, don't feel like you have to push into that pain, because that's actually how you get injured. That's how I ripped a bone in my knee, is because it already hurt and I kept on trying to work out, do squats, do things, and it pulled the bone apart. So I wouldn't want that for anybody. That's why I say do what you can while you feel good. If you're feeling good, get to the gym or get to your workout at home. Both are a great way of building up and continuing that to build that progress. So we're gonna do one more set of bicep curls. So I'm head and hips against the wall, elbows in, pulling up to the front. So B2, how are your classes going? Pretty exhausting. Oh man, that's tough. I know that is difficult when your classes are real exhausting. Back when I was in school, I was working and going to school at the same time. So I was working nights and then going to school during the day. So especially my freshman and sophomore year, I gained a lot of weight because I had no time for working out. And that's definitely something I regret. It took a lot more effort to lose weight. At my heaviest, I was 265 pounds. And that's about 50 pounds heavier than I am now. So if I could go back and change something, be making time for working out when I was younger, where I could build muscle easier. Now, for someone my age, I can still build muscle really effectively, but I could probably build more muscle back then than I can now. So I think it's just it's so admirable. It's so great that you are prioritizing getting to working out, building that muscle, even though you're tired, even though there's a lot of things demanding your time. So try and get in quickly, in and out, where we're getting an efficient workout in. All right, now we're gonna do a suitcase squat. So feet about shoulder width apart, hands at your sides. From here, we're gonna bend the knees, keeping your back straight, almost like you're trying to set down the dumbbells at your sides, but don't actually let go of the dumbbells. So bending the knees, dropping all the way to the ground and back up, where your dumbbells are just above the ground, but your back stays straight. So really trying to bend those knees and back up. So I really should feel this right here in my quads. I'm trying to keep my chest up, so I'm not leaning to the front. Pushing my knees out over my toes. Relax. I try and do high reps on that rather than high weight, because I find that it's better on my low back while I'm still working these muscles in the front of my thigh. Oh. Yeah, it is just so much harder to do a workout today, but we are doing what we can. So we're gonna do 2 sets of legs. So 2 sets for 2 exercises. I try and go between 3 and 6 exercises in a workout, depending on what I'm doing, to try and hit as many muscle groups as I can. So now we're gonna work the glutes and the hamstrings in the back of the thigh. So for this, I'm gonna stand against a wall, take 1 step forward, feet about shoulder width apart. This is gonna be a stiff-legged deadlift or a 2-legged golf pickup are the 2 names for it. So it's like you're bending down, picking something up, but what I want you to do is push your hips back to hit the wall. So you keep your back straight and your hips hinge. So we're using that big hinge of the hip. So pushing back, you should feel that tension in the back of your thigh as you push back, pushing your hips into the wall. Now, if you have tight hamstrings, this is a great way of stretching and strengthening them at the same time. I feel this much more in my left leg than my right, because my left is tight compared to my right. Trying for 15 reps. If you have tight hamstrings, what activity do you find you feel those hamstrings tight the most? Might be bending over to pick something up, or might be running. Some people feel it on like the 2nd or 3rd mile of a run, where their hamstrings just knot up. I'm looking and seeing where my heart rate is, letting that drop down a little bit. So if you're liking this workout and want to see more, hit that subscribe button to be here live to work out together Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Hope to see you there. Hi, got one more. P2 says, I get random cramps when I'm trying to sit on my knees by directly putting my knees on the ground. Does it mean that my hamstring is weak? So that's interesting. So when you're kneeling down, that's a really interesting thing. So when you're kneeling down like this, you feel it in your hamstring back here. I don't think that means your hamstring is weak. What it might mean is that your quads are tight. It might be that this muscle senses tension. Both knees down simultaneously? Yeah, I'm on both knees. Unless I'm not understanding you correctly. But it might be that this muscle in the front is actually tight. That quad muscle. And then this muscle is firing to take pressure off of it. That's interesting though. That's not normally what I hear when because normally this would be actually shortening the hamstring, but you're feeling that cramp there. I have felt that before where this leg cramps up when I'm trying to bend the knee. Usually that means this muscle right here is tight for me. Now, do you find that your hamstring is tight on that side as well? And then the back of my thigh gets cramps. Yeah. Interesting. I have had that happen before too, when I'm doing this stretch to the back. I get a hamstring cramp sometimes, but that's more when this muscle is tight for me. So as this muscle actually relaxes, the hamstring relaxes too. That's been my experience. I think that's because of something called the Golgi tendon organ, where if the muscle senses a lot of tension in one side of the joint, it will tell that muscle to relax and the opposite muscle to engage to try and protect the joint. And so that might be what's going on is your GTO or your Golgi tendon organ is actually trying to protect the joint. I don't think it's because the hamstring is weak necessarily though. I don't think that's what's causing it for you. Heart rate's still pretty high. We're gonna try one more set of these. We'll see how this goes. If I get to 5 and feel pretty tired still, I'm gonna stop. Yeah, we're gonna stop there. So we did what we could. Thing is, starting to feel sick from the stuff in the air and get a little dizzy. So because of that, I'm stopping there because I want to be safe. I want to be able to work out again on Friday. So rather than pushing myself through that today, risking an injury, I'm gonna dial it back and come back strong on Friday to keep on going. So if you want to be here live for that, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified when we go live. Thank you for being here, and till next time, hope to see you there.